Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kate, or I go by AlwaysMoreSims here on YouTube, and today we are gutting this house and starting over. So I guess this is technically a speed build. Welcome back to a speed build. So this house is called Lavender Lane, and I built it like a little over a month ago, and I didn't like it. I didn't like the interior of the house at all. It just was not sitting right with me. I wasn't a fan. I couldn't get the living room to look how I wanted. I was really struggling. Like sometimes, I'd say maybe a good 80% of the time anymore, at least when I build, I normally hit like a flow state, or I'm feeling really good about, maybe not really good, but I'm like, I reached kind of a flow state with the house. I'm like, okay, I know what kind of style I'm going for, and it just kind of starts coming naturally. Now, it's still to be seen afterwards if I'm actually a fan of what I did, or if I was flowing with the wrong vibe, but I did not reach that at any point with this house. This whole house, when I built it, was a struggle when it came to the interior. The exterior, I don't think is that bad. I think the exterior is okay. But I ended up just reworking it all. So I got rid of the master bedroom on the main floor. I actually made the main floor a little bit smaller, which you will see. And then I moved all of the bedrooms upstairs. So everything is upstairs. The house has a completely different style to it. Where before, I don't even know what I would call the style from before. I just know it wasn't what I wanted. This time it is a little more modern. I think last time it had a bit more of a family-friendly feel. I had kids' toys in the living room, and this time I did not do any of that. It's not a super cozy space. We'll put it that way. And that wasn't, it wasn't necessarily on purpose, but so sorry. When I got to the point that I felt like I was jiving, I wasn't quite in my flow state yet, but when I was kind of jiving with what was going on with the house, I just wasn't feeling cozy vibes. Okay, I was just like, well, style-wise, I like how this is looking. And that's not to say that when my sim eventually moves into this house, I won't kind of again redecorate just a little bit to make it a little more family friendly, with kids' toys and kid furniture and all that stuff. But yeah, and then so my sim has cats. She has 3 cats. We will be having a 4th cat here in the next couple of parts. When our current kitten ages up, we're going to have one of our cats try for kittens again, and then we'll keep one of those kittens. So we will eventually have 4 cats, and I kind of bare bones added cat stuff. I have a cat tree upstairs on the landing, and then there's a litter box in the garage, and then there's food bowls. But I didn't even recolor the cat tree upstairs because I'm just gonna bring the one that's in their house, in her house right now, because I like the color scheme of it, and I just didn't want to bother recoloring it if I already like what I have. And I'm going to end up replacing the cat bowls with the automatic feeder. But that was store content, and I didn't have any other store content in the house, so I didn't want to use store content. There's also, it's right there above the front door with the single window, kind of that 3x3-ish space on the front of the house, is where the nursery type area will eventually be, but I didn't feel like decorating that spot. So the upstairs is pretty barren. I didn't do a whole lot up there. Sorry, I'm recovering from being sick. But I need to stop saying But there is room for, you can put a nursery up there, you can put a desk up there, you don't have to put a nursery. There is a inventor's workbench in the garage. I originally had it outside and I didn't like that it was outside, but I made the garage bigger because it was really small in the last iteration and I wanted the crafting bench inside. So I didn't want it outside because actually in game right now it's literally raining. So I really didn't want my sim working on the bench outside. So I moved it into the garage because we finally had space. There's a litter box out there. There's the food bowls and then the cat tree that needs to be recolored upstairs. So none of the bedrooms are furnished. None of the upstairs bathrooms are furnished. Now there is a laundry room. Very simple. It literally just has the washer and dryer in it that is upstairs. And then I did the master bedroom, but again, I didn't decorate that little alcove. I do get a crib out and literally wave it around in the space that I intend for it to eventually go, but I didn't actually put anything there because I just didn't feel like doing a nursery. So yeah, the bedrooms are kind of small though. They're 3x4, so they're pretty tiny, pretty tight. Now, I actually just realized I didn't quite think about this. So Danny has kind of messed with my plans in the challenge. He married the high school sweetheart that we don't like. Okay, so I need to back up. If you're not familiar with this house and who it is built for, it's literally built for my Lavender sim. Like, her name is Lavender, and she represents the Lavender generation of the Sims 3 and Bloom challenge. Again, so sorry. And her childhood best friend, who she's realized that she has, like, big fat crush on, he had a high school girlfriend that Lavender does not like, does not care for, because this girlfriend wormed her way between Lavender and Danny, who were super close, thick as thieves. Yeah, she wormed her way between them, split them apart. Lavender was on the rebellious side as a teenager and was like egging the girlfriend, or I guess they're married now, so the wife's name is Iris. But Lavender egged her house. And then because Lavender is an inventor, she needs scrap from the junkyard. So she had been at the junkyard and Iris had shown up. And Lavender got really upset because Iris was basically trying to copy Lavender to hopefully make Daniel or Danny like Iris more if he was more, or she was more similar to his best friend. And that made Lavender really upset, so they got into a physical fight over it, like full-on brawl. And Iris made it back to Danny to tell on Lavender before Lavender was able to share her side of the story. And Danny's like, look, I'm tired of being stuck in the middle of you two. This just is not gonna work. And he basically picked her over Lavender. They had been BFFs. They lost the BFF title. It was bad. So then Lavender separated herself from Danny. Then Danny turned around and married Iris. But we're kind of going with the story that Iris is very controlling. She's very jealous and very afraid of Lavender in the sense that Iris knows that it wouldn't take much for Danny to reconcile and even possibly choose. Bless you. Why are you on your back? Moose. Oh my goodness. He's such a goober. But Iris knows it wouldn't take much for Lavender to basically win Danny over and, take her man. So she feels very threatened by Lavender, and so Iris kind of keeps like a firm hand, pretty much with Danny, that like doesn't really like him seeing Lavender, doesn't like him talking to Lavender. Well, then they have a kid now, and that was not part of the plan. They have a little girl. Her name is Eloise, and so I had to kind of change plans a little bit. And now, moving forward, the plan is going to be that... What, Frank? Sorry, a dog that's not normally up here with me is in here with me right now. What? I think they're hot. Hold on. Sorry, my office has gotten hot because my computer's been running all day. So, and this room does not get good ventilation. So, anyways, Danny has a daughter now named Eloise, and when Eloise ages up into a child, I'm going to go ahead and have Danny and Iris separate, with the story being that Danny, like, he loves Iris in, like, their own way, but also sees how Iris can be manipulative and controlling, and he basically just gets tired of living life that way, and he misses his, best friend, and they do end up separating, and then they have, like, split custody of Eloise, so Eloise will be going back and forth between the two houses, and Eloise so I say that because, like, yes, between mom and dad's house, but eventually Danny and Lavender are going to be together, and so then it'll be going back and forth between Danny and Lavender and Iris, and Iris is basically just going to really try to put Eloise against Lavender, and, like, Eloise will initially be very bitter and nasty, because Iris will have, filled her head with all of, her opinions of Lavender, and then Lavender will slowly win Eloise over until... I don't want it necessarily to be one of those things where it's like Eloise has to pick one or the other, but to the point where she doesn't really listen to her mom's better comments or take them as seriously. Like, she is like, Mom, like, you're always going to be bitter and jealous of Lavender, but, like, I don't know. I think she's nice. I think she and Dad are great together type relationship. Right now she's a toddler. However, I do not have a bedroom for her. And that is a problem. I guess what I could do is expand kind of back there behind the garage and turn that into another bedroom. Could be something we do. I mean, or, kids could share rooms. I don't like the idea of them sharing a room, though, just because of how small the bedrooms already are. Again, 3x5. Those are already pretty tiny, and I just feel like those could be really cramped. Like, I think the master bedroom is already kind of cramped, too. There's the uncolored or unrecolored, or however you want to say it. That's two prefixes, but unrecolored. I don't think that's a word. But out there in the landing, the loft, whatever you want to call that area, the cat tower. But we'll be bringing our own. I think this house will be okay for the cats. I don't think they should get stuck too bad. But I talked all the way through the main floor. So, I mean, hopefully you were paying attention and saw what I did. Like, the kitchen is very simple. I was hoping to, and probably if I'd kept the house at the original size like the main floor was, if I hadn't, like, shortened it, I probably could have fit a dining room table, because I did originally I wanted there to be, like, the kitchen with, like, that kitchen island, and then a dining room table, and then the living room, because as of right now, the whole family cannot eat together, because there's only 3 seats at the counter. So that is kind of a unfortunate thing, I guess. I could re-extend, I suppose, if I really wanted to. If I really put my mind to it, I could go back and retweak this house again. But as of right now, I don't want to do that. I'm ready to be off the computer. I've been at the computer all day, and I've actually been having a blast recording. Like, I've been having a lot of fun playing my Sims today. I've only done Sims 3. I did Sims 4 yesterday, but I've been having fun, and I like it when I'm in these, in the groove with my game, that like I'm having fun playing, because sometimes there has been points over the years, or the last decade, that's crazy, that's so insane, but where I've not really wanted to open a save just because the point of that save is boring. All of the kids are gone, or it's just turned very monotonous and it's just the same thing day in and day out. And then I don't like recording monotonous gameplay. I want it to be something different. I want there to be variety. It's not fun to watch, and it's not fun to record, to be here like, oh, look, Lavender's going to work again. And now I have to wait for her to be done with work. And oh, look, she's done with work, and now we're going to go home, and oh, she could use a shower, and she needs to eat something for dinner, and she's pretty tired, so time to go to bed. And when she wakes up in the morning, hey, Lavender needs to go back to work. It's very boring. So if I can help it, I don't want to record, the monotonous stuff, but then at the same time, it takes quite a while to reach a point where things are different. So I don't know if that's making any sense, but we're at the screenshots, so I have put a link to the remodeled version of the house down in the description below. It is definitely different than the vibes of the last or original version, but if you'd like to download it, please feel free to do so. Please don't take credit. I am out of time, so thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.